I hope you can feel my smile. My heart is warm. We just did an episode of You Have to Meet My Friends where I go live and I call my friends randomly. And I had a bunch of my friends on, about 5 of my buddies, since I've been in, grade school. And it was just all belly laughs, all nonsense, hilarious as can be. And I love all of you guys, Dale, Alfred, Andy, Will, Dave. I love you guys. Rob, I know he was on the road, so we didn't call him. And our buddy Johnny, we didn't get a chance to call him, but I have some of the greatest friends in the entire world. And when, when my body breaks down, when my mind plays tricks on me, it's the things that are in my heart that are the ones that kind of give give me the light of day. And, that's the message that I got this morning while I was sitting and I was spending some alone time at the beach. And it was incredible because I got done with that. And then I looked up and I saw this beautiful woman and I saw this really cute dog. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my wife. And Brooklyn had surprised me coming down to the beach, and she brought Ziggy down, and he was running all over the place like he always does. And I got to see my wife, and it was incredible. Get to spend some time with my family today, and happy Thanksgiving to every single one of you. If you're watching this on Thanksgiving or the day after, happy Black Friday, whatever. But we're going through the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. This show is called Inchstones, and the whole message today was when your body gets tired, your mind plays tricks on you, that your heart will guide you if you invest in it. And we want to invest in that. And how do you invest in your heart? By filling it with wisdom. And where can we get that? From the good word and Proverbs 28. So I'm excited for this because it encourages you to make our heart the priority. And this will be the foundation of all the blessings in our lives. So why don't we get this party started?
Achieving, cause we believing it's for certain. We put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting right before your eyes. So it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Thank you, as always, for tuning in. It's another episode of Inchstones. I just got off the podcast. We just did an episode of You Have to Meet My Friends where I go live and I call my friends randomly, and it never disappoints. My buddies, I had 5 friends on, and they're just going back and forth at each other. I have to get them warmed up a little bit, but once I get them warm, it is unbelievable. You just let them go, and it's like, it's all nonsense all day, but I tell you, it is something that fills my heart, and that's exactly where we're going to be at today. I got to spend some alone time at the beach today, which was amazing. And, I have to tell you, during this holiday season, my body can get broken down. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me, or, my mind will get tired. Right. And, and especially when my mind gets tired, I start to think silly things. When I get hungry, I start to react different. Right. And when that happens, what God was telling me this morning is, that if you fill your heart and you invest in your heart and you fill your heart with wisdom, then your heart will lead you back to where you need to go. And you'll be able to lay into that. And I had that conversation with God this morning. It's like, man, my body was a little bit sore and I didn't even do anything. I just slept. So that's where we're at. Right. But in my mind, I was like, man, I'm a little bit foggy this morning. I was down at the beach and then spending time. And he was like, look, you can always rely back to your heart. Your heart will be the foundation of all the blessings in your life. And then I was like, okay, so I started reading Proverbs 28, which is the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. And, it gave a lot of insight into this and for us to be able to invest. Now, you can fall back on your heart if you invest in your heart, right? And so when we invest in our heart and we fill it up with wisdom and then we protect that and guard it at all costs, like my mom had said, it's incredible what can happen. So we jump right into Proverbs 28, verse 1, 12, 14, and 28. True boldness comes from knowing the truth. And the truth is that you're perfectly, wonderfully made in the image of God. Anything contrary to that, that's a lie. And from this day forward, only accept truth. You were built for this moment. Like all of us were built for this moment. We're exactly where we need to be. God's big enough. This is what my pops would say to me all the time. If he needed you someplace else, he'd have you in that spot. And so to understand and know truth, that you are made perfect. He didn't screw anything up, like he didn't make any mistakes, and he didn't start with you, right? And this is what my pops would say to me all the time, and I'd be like, yeah, well, whatever. I made some mistakes. I did these things. Maybe I'm not. And he's like, come on, man. Like, he parted the sea. He's big enough to handle you and me. I think all the sayings that my dad would say, they have to rhyme too. If you're a dad, you have to have some rhyming sayings that you say to your kids. In verse 2, focus creates precision and precision creates efficiency. You see what God says in Proverbs 10:22. He talked about that he will bring blessing without laborious toil. And what it meant was that it's not going to be by your hard work, your might, your ingenuity. It's going to be on your reliance on him and allowing him to work in your life that's going to bring the real blessing. And then that way, when it brings the blessing, then we'll turn around and we'll tell the story about how good God is in our life. But where should our focus be? If we could focus in on just one thing, and think of this like niche marketing, right? If we focus in on one thing, and when he's talking about that, he's saying him. If we focus in on him, then he'll bring everything. But if we focus on everything, it won't bring him, right? Focus creates precision, and precision creates efficiency. And when you have efficiency and you have precision that comes from focus, I'm telling you, it doesn't take much energy to be able to get to the place that you want to get to. Let's see, in verse 3, let people or love people and manage the systems in that order. This is a thing that I would invite you to do if you're managing a company, you're leading a company, which I've been very fortunate to be able to do this in multiples, build our company with multiple locations. And when I got off and when things went south is because I loved the systems and I managed the people. But if you love the people and you manage the systems become unemotional. You set those in play. We communicate at a high level so people understand, right? We do that. And once we do that with the systems, then we manage the system, but we always love the people. But when we shift that and we love the systems and we manage the people, that's where people have the tendency to gain what one of the young ladies told me in our company years ago was then you put an expiration date on people. In verse 4, 5, 7, 9, and 23 of Proverbs 28, seek wise counsel. That's 5 verses that it reiterated this over and over again. And wise counsel, where can we get it? Make sure, well, number one, the place where you could get wise counsel is by going and spending time with God, right? Fear God gives you wisdom. It's the beginning of wisdom. Wisdom is the right use of knowledge. So when you're seeking counsel, make sure that counsel is rooted and grounded in wisdom. And so ask where the person got it from. Did they get it from experience? Did they get it from, theory? And it doesn't mean that, that you only can go to the word. No, God is going to bring wise counsel into your life, but make sure that we test it that way as much as possible. This one in verse 6, 8, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 21, which means that there's a lot of emphasis on this in Proverbs 28 and filling our heart, right? So if we fill our heart, then when our mind gets tired, our body gets weary, we can rely on the foundation to be able to build that back up. But sometimes what we have the tendency to do is we are like, oh, I need to have a strong mind, I need to have a strong body, but our heart isn't there. And then we falter because the heart is the foundation of everything, right? And so in 6, 8, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 21, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times it re-emphasized this, is doing right is better than doing more. And it goes back to that focus creates precision, precision creates efficiency, right? And efficiency actually produces speed. So if you want to be faster, just focus. That focus will bring precision. The precision will bring efficiency, and you'll be able to move at a lot quicker pace. But watch this. Doing right is better than doing more. And sometimes I get caught up in this because I just want to do more. And then God is saying, no, is it right work? Meaning, is it diligence? In verse 10 and 24, you are always an example to somebody. This is a hard one. My pops would tell me all the time that, the only difference between kids and a video, he called a video camera at the time, and a video camera is that a video camera has a stop, a rewind, a pause, and a delete button, and the kids don't. You're always an example to somebody, so watch out and watch the things that you're doing. And I tell you, people, I learned this from a guy named Cole. He said, lessons are caught, not taught. Chew on that one for a second. In verse 13, communication makes a relationship invaluable. If you want your relationships to be invaluable in work and life and friendships, communicate. Communicate at a high level. That means that there's a sender, a receiver, and results. And if you're not getting the results, it's always the sender's fault. It's not the receiver's. Sometimes you're saying the right thing, but you're saying it in the wrong language, right? And when you're saying it in the wrong language, then you're not getting results. But it's not because the person didn't listen or they didn't do. It's because you weren't speaking in their language. Understand their language, communicate at a high level, and that relationship will become invaluable. In verse 19, honor the field of diamonds beneath your feet. This is a thing that I struggle with a lot because I like to look around and I like new and I like to move towards different aspects, but I want to invite you. There is diamonds. There's a field of diamonds below your feet. And there's most of the time when we're out there searching for all the things, the thing that we're standing on right now is the one that's the most valuable. And when we start to work that, we start to work our land. You hear this common thread through Proverbs all the time, is work our land. What is our land? It's working our gifts. How do we figure out what our gifts are? Well, you just sit in and you ask yourself, what are you good at that you don't have to work at? What were you gifted? And then take those gifts, and then go give them away to every single person, and you'll see that your purpose will start to become very, very clear. Honor the field of diamonds beneath your feet. In verse 20, an investment in your heart will be richly blessed. It's the whole emphasis of today in Proverbs 28. Just take and invest in your heart. And what is your heart? It's what you believe. Like, it's your belief system. It is at the core. And where do we get that belief system? From what we see, we hear, and we become aware of through the senses, from people who we value. And then I ask, who do you value? Be conscious of this, because that will become your belief system. From verse 22, 25, 27, generosity will expand your heart. No matter what, I tell you, one of the most generous people that I know is one of my friends named Alfred. Also Pike. These two, when you go to their house, they are so generous. They cook. They make sure that everything's taken care of. It is unbelievable, the generosity that these two people have. And they're incredible men, they're incredible fathers, they're incredible friends, and you know what? They happen to be my friends. And I just want a big shout out to Andy, or as we call him, Pike, and Alfred, or as we call him, Abbott. So love you both. As we finish up today in verse 26, true wisdom is knowing that God is in control. If you want to fill up your heart with wisdom, you'll spend time with God. And if you want true wisdom, you'll understand that he's in control. And when he's in control, then it'll be his purpose, his plan, his timing. And that's probably one of the hardest things that we'll ever deal with, is the last part, is the timing. The timing aspect is rough because we want it when we want it. See, when your body fails and your mind plays tricks on us, it will be our heart that leads us out of the darkness. Fill your heart with wisdom, and it will never fail you. Build your life on your heart. Build your life on your heart. Build your life on your heart. Proverbs 28 never disappoints. And honestly, it doesn't mean that we don't build our mind. It doesn't mean that we don't build our body. We do those things, but make sure that you build your foundation on the firmest place, which is your heart, and fill that with wisdom, which is the fear of God. Hopefully you have a phenomenal day. Happy Thanksgiving or Black Friday, whenever you're listening to it. I love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to Inchstones. Make sure that you comment, that you subscribe, and you share it with your friends. There's somebody out there that needs to hear this, and I appreciate every single one of you. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never know, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.